to order. Thank you, everyone, for being here. Will please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Michael, do you want to come on up and start with item 3A, request of approval to hire a new employee?
Yes, good morning. This is a request to hire at step 3 Regina Gingery. She is applying or a candidate for our WIC program.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve start of new hire Regina Gingery at step 3 of pay grade 414 for the position of Public Health Aide 1.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just checking in with Mike. I think I saw that some funding went through for WIC, and we'd had some trouble with how we were going to get formula out. Has it been resolved?
It's not 100% resolved, but yes, we've
Okay.
gotten funding through the end of November now. That's been
Cool.
extended for staff, so.
Awesome.
Okay. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those
Aye.
opposed? Motion approved. Item 3B is discussion regarding a proposal regarding the Riley Ranch motocross track. I think I'd like to take this one. For many years, Coos Riders, under the direction of Jason Bodewig, has been overseeing the operation of our motocross at Riley Ranch. Jason's taken this on as kind of a public service project, done a lot of work out there. I'm very thankful to him for all he has done keeping that going. Recently, we had an inquiry from, is it Quad Northwest?
Quad Cross, yes, sir.
Chuck and Decia Woods, who are interested in taking over operation of the facility. They made a really good presentation to us. We decided at the time that they were going to be able to do more than Jason's been able to do in terms of frequency of events. And so we discussed terminating our arrangement with Coos Riders and negotiating a new management agreement with Quad Northwest. Rather than act on that today, there's all kinds of things involved. You have a 90-day notice to the current management, and yet, and they have a event scheduled for late April, and have paid the insurance on that. What I'm hoping to suggest here is that rather than act definitively on when we're going to terminate the agreement and start the new, is to let Jason and Chuck and Decia Woods, and in conjunction with our parks manager and our county council, work out a transition period. Personally, I would like to see some of the things that Chuck and Decia want to do out there started sooner rather than later. But we do have a requirement of a 90-day notice, and I feel obligated to let Coos Riders, after all the work they've done, hold their April event. And but I don't, on the other hand, want to wait until April to start the new regime. So I'm would ask if it's okay with Jason and Chuck and Decia and Colton, and I know I've talked to Craig, to get together here the next week or two and kind of work out a transition period so that we can honor our commitment to Goose Roads on one hand, and on the other hand, get you involved sooner rather than later. And I think the motion we have is simply to approve moving forward with negotiating new lease options. I think that is enough to get this started unless council thinks otherwise.
No, I think that's broad enough. You know, I'm wondering if Chuck would want to update the other two commissioners on what they have proposed. I know that they presented you with a pretty detailed proposal there that's in the agenda.
Maybe we should get a motion on the table and then have discussion.
Sure.
So, Mr. Chair, I move to initially to approve to move forward with negotiating new lease options.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. We'll have some discussion and then we'll vote on that. And so I want to offer Jason an opportunity to talk about the facility and all he's done up there. Looking back is huge, really. And so I want to make sure we're making this transition working for everyone. So Chuck, we'll start with you. Can you tell us what you have in mind? Or you're
There's room for two.
You're going to send your better half?
I'm going to send my better half.
Oh, wise move.
All right, so we,
Is that on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tap it.
It was.
Yeah, it's on.
All right, so we're the owners of Quad Cross Northwest. We have been actively involved with the series for 6 years now, and we've owned it for the last 4. And so we travel around to various motocross tracks in the Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, Idaho, and put on quad and side-by-side events. We've had the privilege of coming to Riley Ranch a couple of times in the past with quad cross, and know that that's an underutilized portion of Riley Ranch, and would like to, with our expertise, take it over and really grow the side-by-side and quad membership or events out there, along with continuing to offer bikes, which has really been the crux of that track for so long. So just opening it up, broadening our horizons, and letting all ATVs and motocrosses continue to utilize the track.
Thank you. Any questions?
Have I understood you're new to the area? Or have you been here?
We moved here 2 years ago, but I've been coming down to the sand dunes since I was 2 months old.
Oh, wow.
So I have been involved in all aspects of the sand for that
Yep.
long.
Cool.
We literally live about 3/4 of a mile from the motocross track, so we're
Oh.
right there. We live at the KOA. We live
Oh, okay.
up from the KOA,
Yep.
so we're very close to the track.
Okay. Well, belated welcome to the area.
Thank
We're
you.
happy to have you.
Thank you.
So you mentioned side-by-sides and obviously wider machines, and it's been primarily a motocross track, so I guess part of the improvements you would have in mind is widening the track in certain areas, or?
Potentially. I mean, side-by-sides ran there in many of the races that we
Oh,
had.
oh, yeah.
So there was, while there's not a whole huge area to pass, that's what makes a good side-by-side rider. They find the opportunities that they need to pass on the track. So not necessarily widening it, but more making sure things that are overgrown are cut back and safe for all.
Any reconfiguration of the track at all, or is it going to remain more or less as it is, just with some?
At this time, we're going to leave it like it is and just groom it up a little bit. But if we do want to reconfigure, we'll get the county on board and kind of go through and see how to better get spectator viewing at the track. That's the hugest thing right now for our business is spectators coming. I mean, our racers are going to come no matter where we go, they come. But getting a spectator aspect of it, right now, there's really no place for them to see. They go in that clear cut area and all you see is a hole shot and the finish line. You can't see any other part of the track. So trying to get an engineer in there and try and figure out what's the best solution to get spectators, because that's where our money's going to be. That's where the county's
Right.
money's going to come from. That's where everything's at.
Right.
It's spectating.
Right.
And safely, right? Because
Yeah.
our insurance doesn't allow spectators on the track. So it has to be a way that we can get them to where they need to be, where they can see,
Yeah.
but also not cross the track at any time.
We understand the insurance company's motivation. We've all seen those videos, right?
Right. Yeah, no, and that's our common goal is to try and get it to where spectators can view it, because
Yeah.
Anything else? Fulton? Craig?
Not this time.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, Jason, I know this has to be a little bit bittersweet to you. We appreciate very much the way you've handled this and are willing to cooperate in making the transition. So thank you.
Our goal has always been since we opened the track, we've always kind of wanted to mold, hopefully that the county could eventually take it over and run it internally. That hasn't happened. When we started building the track in 2011, we had that in mind. Larry Robinson was at the helm at the time. He kind of was on board, but also he was a little wishy-washy. And then obviously, the staffing issues was kind of an issue. So there's been many different parameters as far as agreements that we've had with the county. But when we built the track, we did it in a sense that, we wanted to maintain it at a 20-foot width. And in doing so, we also wanted to have watering lanes around the track that because it is a sand track. It's not a true sand track in the sense it's not like dune sand. It's kind of there's obviously dirt in the mix as well. So anyhow, we wanted to have some access routes around the track for emergency vehicles during a race or during a practice. But it's been a progression. We, over the last 13 years, we put power to the track, we put water to the track, we've got some holding ponds, we put up some security fencing. So it's, the operation of the track's been like this, a lot of it due to insurance requirements. The first few years, the county provided the insurance, and then we purchased the insurance and have been the last decade or probably 10 years, I'm guessing. Insurance has really gotten expensive. This last year we spent $18,000 for insurance for the year. And as DC has said, the spectators has always kind of been an issue there. Insurance companies won't allow crossing of the track or the interior of the track. And so that's always kind of been an issue as far as the spectator viewing. There is potential for better spectator viewing, but the problem is if you start taking out a bunch of the trees, if anyone's been out in the what I call the day use area in the summertime, the wind out there is horrendous. So we always were very cautious on what trees we took out within the perimeter of the track. For windbreak, and because if that truck gets horrendously dusty, sometimes we'll put 40,000 gallons of water down in a July practice, and by noon we got to put another 10,000 gallons out. So we've always had the track. We kind of molded towards dirt bikes because in that particular track. The dirt bikes and the quads The quads blow the dirt off the track, and it makes it very hard pack for the dirt bikes, if that makes sense. And then, so it's, we had to kind of conform to the people that were showing up to ride. Side by sides, I feel like the track is too narrow for side by sides, and they did have a couple races out there with side by sides, and basically whoever gets the whole shot, for the most part, is going to be the winner. But we've never catered to the side by side just because they're very big, very heavy, and the track is a bit narrow for side by sides. We have run quads and dirt bikes together, but for the most part, it got to the point where if 5 quads didn't show up, we didn't have a quad practice. So, because it just wasn't really worth splitting, because we split the practices by skill level to keep it as safe as possible. Obviously, these last year and a half, 2 years, we haven't been utilizing the track as much. My personal business, we've been just so busy that we haven't been able to, put in the time, and my counterparts, same thing. Their lives have been very busy. So we've kind of, obviously, that was the giving point, was Riley Ranch. So, I agree. It's time that we need to have a helm change, because ultimately we need to have the track open more for the community. I do think in time that I think it would be a good conversation for parks and maybe the road department with, Craig and Paul, maybe to have a conversation to see if it could be potentially ran internally by the county. Because, with the right people in there, I think it could work. I just want to touch on one more thing. I know that and this is more of a pro track, I really want to see this track stay. And I know that there has been some pushback, in years past, wanting to make that into a campground. You guys can ask any deputy that patrols the dunes or Hauser. We don't need more side-by-sides, quads, dirt bikes out in the dunes. It is getting very dangerous out there. And, if you had another 30 or 40 sites, that's just putting way more congestion out in the dunes. And it's not safe to take little kids out into the dunes anymore just because of the congestion. It is safe for kids to be riding on the track because of the controlled environment. And every year we're losing a little bit more of riding areas. So, my ultimate goal and my dream is just to make sure that track stays, whether it's us, the county, quad cross. It needs to be run professionally and maintained. And, like you said, John, it is bittersweet, but it's time. I've been doing it for 13 years. Coos Riders, we've probably got $200,000 worth of time and equipment invested in infrastructure. And like you said, our lease expires at the end of the year, but I would like to have an extension till the end of April to get, a few more practices and our event through. And when our insurance expires, then we can go in and take, a few of the things that we need to remove off the facility, and then, make that transition smooth.
Well, I thank you for that. And again, thanks for all you put into it. It's huge.
Yeah.
Money-wise,
So,
time-wise.
and, we owe it to the county, the commissioners and the, the department heads for allowing it, I know it's been
It's tempting because
it's a
we're always
progress.
short of money around here.
Right,
and
yeah.
We don't earn much off it, but I do know that it's something that the county needs and wants. And
Right.
so my intention is to, I can't promise what the next commissioner down the road will think.
Right,
but
and, there's no guarantees.
Just to make sure that we have this. And
It's
so-
just a very popular track in multiple states, and, it would be a shame to have it disappear, so.
I think in the broader picture, that track is complementary to what Lakeside's economic development plans are. They would like to, from the folks I've talked to on the elected side, they would like to see an expansion of their ATV camping, different, they've looked at how they can expand their trails that you can travel on ATVs to get to the dunes.
Right.
So the presence of that track is also complementary to their economic objectives, and that benefits all of us as well.
Right.
So if you'd like to collaborate with Lakeside, I'm happy to connect you with their council, because they would love to talk to you.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you.
So I guess that's all I got.
Well, then, I'll leave it to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you to come up with a meeting date, and I'd like to move ahead with this as quickly as possible, and
I'm kind of tied up until after Thanksgiving, but
Oh.
after that, we can,
I think we can wait that long.
yeah, okay, perfect.
Mr. Chair, I'd also like to just express my thanks to Mr. Bodewig and folks for what you and your associates have accomplished out there, and for what you guys have planned for the future. I think that it all bodes well for the county and the people of the county, and I think you have support for that operation, both past and. So
The
thank
one
you.
thing I would ask, going forward, there was a period of time where I would send invites to the commissioners and department heads, not so much in the last year and a half or so, a couple of years, but it would be nice to see the face of the commissioners or department heads to be at an event on occasion, just to see. I've never seen a commissioner at one of the races.
Oh,
So it would be kind of nice to see, a face on occasion,
I'd be
just to
happy.
kind of see what it's all about, moving forward.
Yeah.
So,
Be careful, you might find him on a motorcycle.
well, that's
I don't know
great.
if you want that.
I'll watch him do it.
So, just some thought, and I'm sure that they would be glad to, send invites out on emails when they have an event, so.
Good.
Yeah, I don't recall having seen an invite like that, but.
Well, like I said, it's been probably a couple years since I've sent those out,
I remember you used to.
yeah. So, anyhow.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
thank
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any further discussion?
No, sir.
Those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. You're welcome to stay, or if I were you, I'd leave.
I gotta go back to my other job.
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay, let's move on to 3C. Purchase of a tractor, parks.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning, Craig.
Okay, our requested action is approval of a purchase of a tractor from Kubota for the amount of $46,462.10. This tractor will go to Bassendorf to replace an aging tractor, smaller tractor that's there now, presently.
Move to approve, move approval to purchase tractor from Kubota, close enough, in the amount of $46,462.10.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? For those in the audience, Parks is self-supporting now. They put money aside to fund acquisitions like this. They're able to contribute money to the general fund in addition to taking care of their own needs. Very, very proud of what they're doing and Craig's leadership. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion approved.
Is
Thank
it-
you, Craig.
Was this, it is a four-wheel drive, Craig?
Yes,
Yeah.
should be four-wheel drive. Yeah, it has a cab and,
As a cab.
Nice.
yeah.
I think these things
And the quick release.
normally go for around
bucket, you got power ports
$60,000
and
if you're
everything
not a
for it, yeah.
government.
Come in, yeah, attachments.
Okay, 4D, request approval of resolution making additional appropriations. District Attorney,
Uh-oh. That's not a good sign when she's
Not-
not here.
So.
Anyone
let's
wanna
just-
take this for-
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take it, or
Oh, Megan.
oh,
Oh.
Megan knows more. Okay, there you go.
Megan always knows more.
No pressure. So, Crime Victims Assistance finally got their contract for their grant funding, and it was a little more than what we budgeted, so we're adding those appropriations into the budget so they can be spent.
And that position has already been advertised, and that's awesome. So we're able to fill that quickly. Mr. Chair, move to approve and sign Resolution 25-10-206B.
Second?
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion approved.
Thank you, Megan.
Good job on the
You
costumes.
saved the day. Thank you. Okay, 3E, resolution approving a fall protection / ladder safety policy.
It looks like they're saying falling is a bad idea, Mr. Chair.
That's supposed to be.
Good
It's
morning.
not the fall, it's the sudden
It's the
stop
stop.
at the end.
Exactly. Good morning. Michelle and I worked on the full protection policy, and then we decided to also roll in ladder safety with that while we were there because, you know, quite often the two go side by side. We came up with the policy. We actually got some additional input from the Coos County Safety Committee and our safe representative, and so that's how we came up with the final version. So just request the board approve the Coos County Full Protection Policy.
We have a motion.
Move to approve the Coos County Fall Protection Policy and Ladder Safety Policy and sign Resolution 25-10-205L effective November 1st, 2025.
Second.
Discussion.
Well, I know Commissioner Taylor and I had been working on that slogan, fall into fall. I guess we'll have to cancel that now.
Gosh, darn it. Another plan foiled.
Yeah.
Wah, wah.
Thank you.
Those in
Have a
favor,
vote.
please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, approved.
Walk carefully back to the seat now.
Yes. And 3F, request approval of agreement with Spyglass Group LLC and authorize chair to sign.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning, Darius.
So this company, what they do is they look over your telecommunication invoices and they look for maybe services that are not being utilized, and so we're paying for something we're not using, or they're looking for perhaps the provider is overcharging us one way or another. What they do is they show us what their findings are, and then we have the choice to decide whether or not we want to take advantage of some of those savings. The reason for that is maybe what they're thinking is not being utilized is, for example, an elevator phone that we just don't use because we haven't had any emergencies. So we would elect whether or not to disconnect that. They share in some of those savings for the first year, and then after that, we get to keep all 100% of the savings going forward. I did contact. They've worked with some agencies in our area. I contacted one of them. They did say that the company provides a really good inventory of the resources that they audit, which was very helpful. He did say that they did not find a whole lot of things, so it wasn't a huge savings, but there were some savings. We've revamped a lot of ours in the last 5 years. I think we're going to kind of fall in that category where there's not a huge amount of savings, but every dollar counts, and having access to that inventory of resources would be helpful for my group. So I'm asking for permission to sign an agreement or authorization to sign an agreement to have the board chair sign the agreement with Spyglass.
Mr. Chair, I moved that we approve to sign the agreement with Spyglass Group LLC and authorize the chair to sign.
Second?
Have a motion and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, this first came to us when I answered my phone, and this guy on the other end engaged, and he sounded good enough that I was willing to give him a minute, and a minute went by, and he had a pretty compelling case, and we've met with them a couple of times virtually in an executive session, and it looks like we cannot lose on this. And potentially there could be some savings for the county. We'll hope they can find more than they were able to with, I think it was the city of Coos Bay, was it, or? I don't remember.
It was the Coquille School District.
Yeah, that's right.
The organization
That's
I
right.
talked to.
Yeah, so, and we certainly have more telecom services than they do, so.
A little bit.
The nice thing is he did say that the organizations that they use, which are similar to the ones we use, they didn't find any overcharges. The invoicing was correct, so that's good to know that we hopefully will find the same situation here.
Good, very good.
Right. Further discussion? Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion approved. I think you're still up, are you not?
Yes,
Dennis?
sir.
Item 3G, approval to contract with Intermedia Cloud Communication.
Yeah, so the phone service that we currently have was being provided to us by an organization that we've worked with in the past, or employees of that organization. That organization is no longer authorized to resell the telephone services that we're getting. The parent company, which is Intermedia, has reached out to us. They have proposed a 12-month agreement. Nothing changes in terms of costs and the features and whatnot that we're getting. I would like to go out and see what else is out there, but we're at risk of losing phone services if we don't sign something soon. And I believe that going out for bid would probably take at least 6 months to get the bids and review and then schedule a migration. So I'm asking for authorization for myself to sign an agreement with Intermedia. It will be billed monthly.
Very good. Mr. Chair, move to approve the purchase of 1 year of Intermedia Cloud Communications Services in an amount not to exceed $55,909.32, and adopt sole source findings and authorize Director Darius Boudelier to sign.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion approved. Darius?
Thank you. Have a
very
good
much.
Okay.
Okay, let's move on to 3H. Adoption of an order to vacate an unimproved segment of Jupiter Lane. Amy, how are you?
I am well.
Good morning.
Morning. A petition for a road vacation was submitted and once determined to be complete was scheduled for a hearing after comments were received. A hearing was required on this particular vacation due to an objection received opposing the vacation. The Board of Commissioners held the hearing in May 2025 on the proposal to vacate an unimproved segment of Jupiter Lane located south of the city of Bandon and approved the request. As part of its approval, the board directed the applicant to prepare draft findings and provide them to community development to document the decision. Draft findings were successfully reviewed by County Council and forwarded to Community Development on October 21st. Following joint review by County Council and Community Development staff, final adjustments were made to ensure compliance with ORS 368 and the record. The order and legal description are now in proper form for adoption by the Board of Commissioners.
Thank you for your efforts on this. Do we have a motion?
Move to adopt order number 25-10-047PL in the matter of Coos County, file number VAC-23-002, a petition to vacate an unimproved segment of Jupiter Lane.
Second.
Motion second, discussion.
I want to note in the description, that should read that the draft findings were subsequently submitted to County Council on October 21st. So we actually didn't receive the draft findings until that date. So
That does it. I'm not voting for this.
I just don't want you to think that they'd been sitting in my office since May. So
Fair.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It'll take
Well-
more than
well
that to
placed.
clear your name, however, if that's what you're trying to do. Further discussion? Further meaningful discussion? Yes, sir.
Now, there's a guy we haven't heard from in a little while.
I haven't been here, Lynn, since a little while.
Yeah, that's right. It's nice to
missed
see
you.
you, Phil.
Good morning, you guys. Thank you. My name is Phil Thompson, Coos Bay. I asked when Jill did the last one, what's the name of the road? We can't hear back there. Don don't know what road we're talking about.
It's Jupiter Lane.
Where's it at?
It's north of Bannon off of Seven Devils in the,
South of Bend.
South of
Sunset
Banff.
oh,
Yeah.
Sunset City. Yeah, my mistake. Sorry. Yeah.
Better let someone answer that. question.
Sunset
I'll
City.
answer that
You
question.
know where Sunset City is, Phil?
Sunset City?
Yeah, it's down off of Beach Loop, south of the Face Rock Inn.
Yes, yes. Okay. Well, the only other thing I'd like to say is why can't the department heads and stuff, and I'm not knocking their job or nothing, but it'd make it very simple if everybody knew what the road was. This ain't the first time this has happened.
But it says it right here.
Jupiter Lane.
Don't say it on this agenda right here.
Oh,
And it usually never does. So,
sometimes it takes more room than.
Well, but the agenda, you're looking at the agenda online, are you, Phil? Or
no,
just-
I'm looking at it right here.
Just you came in and got it here? Okay, all right.
Online, it's on there.
Okay, point taken.
Yeah,
Maybe we
okay.
could, maybe we can incorporate the road name into
Yes.
the agenda item in the future.
Thank you.
Bobby, is that?
Thank you.
No, we're not gonna do it, Phil, then. Okay, thanks, Bobby. All right. Have we had a vote on that? Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. And on to 3I, resolution supporting pursuit of outside funding assistance, planning, or community development.
Coos County is working on continued to update the Coos Bay Estuary Management Plan. The effort has been difficult without funding to support the effort. Staff is working with the Pew Charitable Trust to assist with funding. The funding will be used for a consultant to assist with the next phase of updates.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
Mr. Chair, in the matter of approving Resolution 25-10-0215 PL, a resolution to support pursuing outside funding assistance and consultant support for the updated, for the updating, I guess, of the Coos Bay Estuary Management Plan.
Sick?
This is not a complete motion, Mr. Chair. This doesn't even recommend an action.
Well.
I guess I'm moving for approval of Resolution 25-10-0215 PL. There you go.
Yeah. So do you want to, let's start over again.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve.
Withdraw any motion or seconds
Okay.
we've had. And
Withdraw
start
my
again.
motion. We're going to try again. Approve, Mr. Chair, I move to approve the matter, or approve Resolution 25-10-0215 PL in support of pursuing outside funding assistance and consultant support for the updating of the Coos Bay Estuary Management Plan.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Further discussion. I hopefully we need to double read these things.
Well,
It's-
yeah,
makes it a little
that's a
awkward.
mess, but, pre-read and then edit.
Further discussion. Those in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, motion approved. Thank you
Thank
very,
you.
very much.
Thank you, Amy.
Consent calendar.
Move to approve the consent calendar?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. So those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Aye.
Oh,
No, I'm not opposed. I just
okay.
missed my eye.
You got
Sorry.
it, Bobby? There are no late agenda items, so let's move on to commissioner reports. Complete update from the home front.
The milk piglet is up to 7.3 pounds.
Did you just say milk piglet?
Yeah. Her birth weight was 6.9, so she's above that now. She is very responsive if you poke her belly button. And mom is doing well too, and I pretend I sleep. So that's all going well on the home front. Stuff to do with county work. Big one that I've been dealing with is the continuation of the mental health contract with the state, the CFAA. We've got a spot now where the state has given an ultimatum for counties to indicate whether they will sign or not by November 10th. Sounds like a bluff. When I had my conversation with the Behavioral Health Initiative Director, she indicated when I asked that it is too soon for the state to present a plan on what they intend to do if we do not sign, but they've also said that they would contract things out by January 1st. So there is no way they can go through a procurement process for 30-plus counties in that time frame and get done what they say they'll do. They continue to assert that they're not trying to push liability onto counties. However, we've seen that unless it's in writing, what they say their intent is not the case. We saw them say to the Association of Counties that there was a bill around sheltering. They were going to change part of it. They said that in order to get the support of the Association of Counties. I didn't trust them. I didn't vote in favor, but the board did, and then the state did not do what it said it intended to do. Additionally, we see the representative from the state I spoke to said that we are completely clear against federal lawsuit, or federal liabilities that the state's currently incurring, because that's been decided in court. And then it sounds like the state has appealed that decision to allow us to be liable for those things. So at the same time they're saying we're safe, they're trying to not make us safe and insisting that that is not their intention. So I will not be advising we sign that. What's likely to happen is the Association of Counties is going to produce a version of it that is acceptable to counties, indemnifies us against legal action, and keeps subject to availability of funds in the contract, which has always been there, and they don't want there anymore. They consider it a loophole to expect to be paid to do the work that they're deferring from the state hospital, which they also insist they're not doing. And yeah, a lot of conversations around that, meetings with the state, talking with the governor's team. Haven't spoken with the governor directly. I'm not sure she wants to talk to me on this matter, but that's been a big part of what I'm doing, in addition to helping where I can with my milk piglet.
You got your hands full.
A little bit.
That it?
She likes to sit here. Yeah,
Why
that's
do you
it.
think?
She thinks I'm mom.
You must be very disappointed.
It
in
doesn't
you.
work.
So, all right, let's move on to the.
And also to
She'll
go to the
figure that out.
bathroom.
Commissioner, I'm shocked to hear you imply that perhaps the state wouldn't be trustworthy in some
It's the
regard.
damnest thing.
Amazing. Well, Mr. Chair, seeing as how it is Election Day, not affecting us really here very much in Coos County, except for a very small area out in Fairview, but a lot of impact across the country. And a lot of our voting across the country in recent years has been malaffected by malinformation. And yesterday I ran across something that I'm compelled to read as my commissioner comments today. It's not necessarily relevant to Coos County directly, but it certainly is to the nation, and we're part of the nation, and this is important. So bear with me a few minutes while I read through this, please. It'll probably take me about 2 or 3 minutes. In early 2023, I was a Democrat. This is not me speaking now. It was around this time I realized Trump would most likely win the next election. To me, my friends, and my family, we thought of that as a problem. So I decided to get more involved in finding a solution. I'd already made calls for Bernie's campaign in the past and done a little volunteering, but I knew I could do more. With Biden being such a weak candidate, RFK Jr. announced his campaign, and I decided this was my chance to prevent a second Trump term, so I did. I started this account on X to support him as a Democrat and began doing research to defeat Trump. As I started looking into Trump, though, instead of just listening to what I heard other people say, I found more and more that my preconceived notions about him were factually inaccurate. For example, Trump never said there's fine people on both sides, referring to neo-Nazis. In fact, in the same clip, he totally condemned them, making it perfectly clear that they were not fine people. This was a huge wake-up call. Every day for 6 years, CNN and their ilk played an edited version of that clip that made it sound like Trump was praising Nazis, but he wasn't. It was on every morning show, every late night show, and was talked about during every campaign event by every major Democrat politician. But what they were talking about never even happened. They cut the clip to remove the context and spent more than half a decade trying to make Trump out to be a supporter of neo-Nazis, and it just wasn't true. Scott Adams of Dilbert fame famously dubbed this the fine people hoax. I spent the next year going through the hit pieces on Trump, hoping to strike oil and find something damning enough to use against him. I wanted Kennedy to beat him, after all. We knew Biden wouldn't be able to, but I came up empty-handed. Drink bleach? He never said that. He's a racist? No, not at all. He started putting immigrant kids in cages. No, that was Obama. But he planned an insurrection on January 6th to remain in office after Biden won, right? That isn't what happened at all. He tried to keep the peace, to stop people from doing damage, some of whom were bad actors who didn't even support him. He wanted to bring in the National Guard, but Pelosi stopped him. The Democrats and media used January 6th to make clickbait propaganda, and it worked. Many people still believe Trump refused to leave office and attacked the Capitol to this day. None of that is true. When the assassination attempt in Butler occurred in the summer of 2024, CNN ran this headline: Trump falls down at Butler rally, loud noises heard. I had been watching live. Everyone watched him get shot and stand up with blood running down his face as he pumped his fist up and showed the crowd he was okay. A father was killed sheltering his family in the crowd by a stray bullet. 2 others were injured. I watched my fellow Democrats cheer for the assassin. They wished Trump was dead, murdered on live TV. Kennedy soon endorsed him and hit the campaign trail for him. I switched sides, and the rest is history. Almost 2 months ago, Charlie Kirk was assassinated while trying to have an open dialogue across the aisle with people who wanted him and Trump dead. I watched Democrats celebrate. I watched them cheer for violence. Some still are. I will never forget. It's 2025 and I'm wiser, but I'm worried. The Democrats have steered their party off the rails towards violence, hatred, and intolerance for their fellow man. God help us all. I can't add any more words to that, Mr. Chair.
Anything more? Anything more? I have nothing. So, citizen comments. Eldon, thank you for being here today.
Should be. Give it a tap.
A month and a half.
Yep,
Good.
it's on.
A month and a half or two ago, Rod made, and I asked him later on, because I was a little confused about what he'd been saying, that George Floyd had died of a drug overdose. So I went on Wikipedia to make sure my memory of events was more or less accurate, and I made some copies. I'd like to hand some of them out. I only made 6 copies of
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Sure. Glad that we have Wikipedia as a reference because it's so eminently reliable and unbiased.
Hold it. This is, you've had your say. It's citizen comment. I'm sorry, Commissioner.
I think we got all of them we need.
Anybody want a copy of this? Okay.
You're walking away your 3 minutes there.
To sum everything up in this article, and like I say, I only printed out the first page, and there are 3 pages. This says, I'm quoting from the article, 2 autopsies and 1 autopsy review found Floyd's death to be a homicide. Didn't die of a drug overdose. He was murdered by Derek Chauvin. Derek Chauvin and George Floyd had some history prior to this incident, too, which you can read at the bottom briefly. Okay.
Thank you. Next up, Phil, do you have anything?
Phil Thompson, Coos Bay. Well, first I want to say wholeheartedly I disagree with the Commissioner Rod on what most of the things he said. If Trump was all that I think he's trying to make him out, why was he convicted, what was it, 34 counts of fraud and 1 sexual offense in court by pure, so I don't see where he even has a right, and the January 6 people, and this is my opinion, Mr. Attorney. I don't have anything to back it up. I mean, anyway, I can't see how he could even, he was the one that I believe January the 6th, and I would actually believe, my point of view is that he was going to overthrow our government. And for me, I don't see that he's honest in hardly anything that I saw on TV or anything that he's done. Now, that's strictly my opinion, and the sooner he gets out of office, the better this country will be. Thank you.
Thanks, Phil. David? Oh, thanks, Phil. David Jennings.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is David Jennings. I'm from Coquille, as I believe you know. I'm very, in some ways, reluctant to say anything at all about this subject. I do think it's important to comment that while sometimes national politics does, I don't know if the right word is intrude, but does impact, it impacts a lot of us locally, but it seems to me the more we argue about national politics, the less we get done locally. So, I think everybody should try as much as possible while still being involved with everything from national politics to local to kind of try to be reasonable and understand other points of view and maybe to some degree here as much as possible not be talking about President Trump or things at the national level that are totally divisive because, again, I could certainly go on at great length about some of the things that Commissioner Taylor has said today and at other times that I disagree with. I'm sure he could with me, and we're probably never going to agree, but I think there are important local issues where we would agree. And so again, I'm not saying that discussion should just be totally shut down, but to the degree we can concentrate on things that are county issues or local issues, or even state issues, I think that's probably preferable to having a long debate about, national politics, especially when we're going to have a couple of national elections. The other thing, I think it's important, no matter what we do, that we all affirm that violence is wrong, except in self-defense or on occasion, to protect property, and it should be universally condemned. And I think people across the political spectrum at times have been a little bit too hot, too nasty to each other. And I think there's a well-documented history of violence on the right and on the left. And there are numerous academic studies that show that historically there's been more violence on the right than on the left. Some might contest that. But certainly that's a universal problem now in our country. And we need to condemn that. And as I said, it'd be nice to basically try to get along to the degree we can to work on common issues. So, anyway, let's all take a deep breath and try to be nice to each other and don't get too upset about anything. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, David.
We had two others, John Brittenhall, he's left, and Jason Bodeweg already had his say. Does anyone else wish to contribute to citizen comments? If not, we are adjourned.